I was best friends with his sister.
And my sister said, "You gotta meet my friend." And I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna date one of your friends." And then Mary walked in the room and I said, "Well, I changed my mind. I'll date your friend."
And I actually called my mom that day and I said, "Mom, you're not gonna believe this, but I met the man I'm going to marry." I've kind of always known that I was a little different than everybody. The first time I noticed that there was something wrong was ironically on the day he proposed to me. I was graduating that year and here comes the man of my dreams, and I was so depressed and I knew there was something wrong.
Especially being young, you don't really understand, what you're seeing. Because nobody really talks about mental illness.
I was so extremely depressed, suicidal. I wrote in my journal.
And I remember spending the day just reading through the whole journal front to back. It ended up being kind of like the missing piece of the puzzle.
I was so mad at you.
Yeah.
I mean, he practically had to drag me to the hospital. I did not want to go at all.
But she did it. I'm so proud of her.
When I was told that I had bipolar disorder, it was devastating.
Now that we've been together so long, I know exactly where things are heading, but it just took time. Right when Mary wakes up, I know exactly how she's feeling. Rarely do I go, okay, that came out of nowhere. Which I think a lot of people think, well, bipolar is, well, she woke up this morning, she's smiling and giving babies hugs and kisses, and in the afternoon, she's losing her mind. That's not bipolar disorder. It's the slow onset, and it moves really slowly. There's nothing I could say or do that's gonna make her snap out of it. I can't change it. I can only just be there for her.
My brain does not have a cap to how amazing I can feel, but it also doesn't have a plug to how horrible I can feel. I said, well, how about we illustrate my feelings in pictures? I think that would be very powerful.
Now, Mary's come up with so many great ideas, over the years, but then when she mentioned this one, I'm like, this is it, Mary.
He booked the tickets, he gave me the contact information of a photographer to take these pictures for me, and made it a reality. When I get these uncontrollable feelings of rage, it's so overwhelming.
It's almost like a volcano about to explode. I can see it coming.
Suicidal thoughts is when you are so profoundly depressed and in your deranged, irrational state of mind, you think the only thing that will help you is killing yourself, which absolutely I know is not the answer. It's very hard, and there's a lot of people who feel that every day. Creativity feels like your brain needs to go for an extremely long run.
I get excited for her. I'm like, wow, what an amazing thought. I mean, she can have ideas and be so futuristic, in a capacity that I could never get to. Sadness is obviously a lot harder for Mary than it is for me.
You just keep crying and crying for me personally, for no reason. I don't want my kids to remember me as a sad person, having to explain to them, mommy's brain hurts right now, I'm just sick. For me, that's the hardest part. Hypersexuality is probably my husband's favorite symptom of them all.
Not bad. We work through it.
It's like the whole world is sex. I think one of the hallmarks of bipolar disorder is people having affairs, and I am more in love with him than I think anybody could be with anybody, but in that state of mind, I can absolutely see how affairs happen. Paranoia for me manifests itself more as, I think, fear. There's this constant underlying guilt with everything. Grandiosity is awesome. You can do anything that you want to. Those fleeting moments of grandiosity are amazing. Despair is feeling like there are a ton of bricks on you. You cannot move. I started a Facebook and blog and Instagram about everything bipolar. My blog is called So Bipolar. Bipolar is a very misunderstood mental illness, and the more we talk about it, the more people will understand and there will be less stigma.
You know, you look at other people that have, you know, maybe a family member has, or their spouse has diabetes or something else complicated. And at that point, you know, you don't give up on love just because one family member is sick.
Our marriage is so successful because of the way we respond to it and how supportive he is of me.
I know we've been talking a lot about how, you know, I pick Mary up, but it goes both ways. You know, Mary is always there for me and all, you know, everything that I go through. And then in turn, you know, I'm there for Mary when she needs my help. There is no tip or trick, and there's no solution. But at the end of the day, like, Mary and I love each other, and this marriage is gonna last until we die. That's the way we're doing it.